Good evening, Tony Dattino here, doing my Live with Tony in the and if any of you are watching the NCAA tournament, I actually was rooting for Oral Roberts to beat Ohio State, and Ohio State was my Final Four pick, one of my Final Four picks, so I'm out of the brackets at this point, but it was an exciting game, and Oral Roberts won for the first time since 1974, so amazing basketball that's been on this afternoon and switching back and forth to different games. But in the middle of all that, I had some work activities that I've gotten done that were really good on the maximum memory mastery and the 6 keys to brain health. So that's been an exciting afternoon and getting some of that done. Had a great call with Lumosity and MIT on the USA Memory Championship. We'll be doing virtually at the end of June. So it's been a good day. And got some more games to watch yet this evening. So the NCAA tournament is on, and I'm sure there's lots of people at this time not able to get to the arenas, but at least watching it on TV. But now comes the Loyola Marymount game that is exciting, and Georgia Tech. So that's the next game that seems to be going to go down to the wire. Virginia Tech and Florida went down to the wire. So it's been an exciting afternoon of basketball. But I want to get back to what we started on Wednesday, this whole laws of friendship and how important that is to our social well-being. One of our critical elements of brain health and heart health and our well-being is the importance of how we look at things in terms of social interaction. And so I wanted to finish up what I started the other day, which was, so what are the elements of friendship and what makes a good friend? And I found this research that they were doing here in the current issue of New Scientist magazine absolutely fascinating in terms of what they call the structure of friendship. So here you have this circle here, the structure of friendship. And what they were discussing is that all of us should at least have 5 people in our immediate circle that we spend a significant amount of time talking to. So if we start with this as the bullseye, right, 5 people that we would be very sharing with, we trust them with our, I want to say our lives, but we would have a great deal of trust in sharing with them and getting some feedback from them on maybe challenges in our life or pleasant things that are going on in our lives. But these would be our most inner circle. And so the good thing for friendships and for social interaction is to at least have 5 people that you can talk to. And I would say talk to day and age. Maybe in the current environment, maybe we can go have a cup of coffee with them or go meet them outdoors somewhere for a lunch. Possibly some places are opening up indoors. But I thought it was significant to look at that. It's the importance that that has to social interaction. And we know that we're hardwired as humans to be socially interactive. And therefore, well, who we socially interactive with. So what I shared the other day is that we will spend about 20% of a day, about 4 hours, talking with, in social interaction, talking with other people, and that 40% of that time is with this inner circle. The next thing we talk about is what we call the sympathy group, people that we can just commiserate with and share some of the challenges that we're facing. And that group is made up of about 15 people. So we have 5 people in our inner circle that we can talk to. And as the circle goes out, as you see the circle goes out, right, we now go to a sympathy group, which would be about 15 people. So we're making progress here. We're socially interactive with the most intimate. We'll spend most of our time talking with them. But now we'll go out to this next group of people we call the sympathy group. And that's going to take some more of our time, and that's a support clique. These are people that we can go to and maybe just chat with on a periodic basis and come back and feel a little bit better as a result of the conversations and things we had. The next part of the circle, so if we continue to expand our circle, the next part of the circle are what we call good friends, people we may meet on, maybe it's once a month, maybe it's once every couple months. Those are what we call our good friends. and we'll meet them. Maybe we'll go out and have a cup of coffee. We may go out and have a dinner with them once in a while. We may call them once every other month. We're not going to talk to them as frequently as our most intimate group, which we'll do on a regular basis, probably multiple times a week. Because as this was talking about it, it was interesting to talk about how many times, I want to get this thing, our best friends, we'll talk to them 30 times a month. So our best friends are going to be 30 times a month. And their second best friends, okay, the next group, we'll talk to them 10 times a month. So we're talking to our best group, 30 times, and then our next best group, we're going to be talking to them 10 times a month. And the average of 40% turnover. Now, this is interesting because we also have what they call turnover as we go further out in the circle, meaning our good friends may change over a period of time as people move and they change jobs and they move into different environments. We may have good friends, which we now have 50 of them, that go out. And then last but not least, we have people that we think, they're a friend of ours, and that's the furthest part of the circle, and that's about 150. So if we add that all up, in any, if you wanted to sit down and think about Christmas cards or who you're inviting to a celebration or who you want to brag to or share something exciting and wonderful about, then the bottom line is you've got about 220 people that would represent your network in the full circle, your whole network of people that you may be socially interactive with, which now explains if that's what you're looking at, and that's the circle of our social activities, then by golly, what do you do with kids now that have been shut down and not going to school, or some of the challenges adults have, seniors have, when they can't network with their social groups and people are being restricted from doing any type of physical interactions, which now demands that we do a better job of Zooming, webbing, texting, phoning, so that we maintain that level of connectivity, that level of we're all in this together. We all have our ups and downs, which now brings us to the next point I want to make. And that comes in the table I'm going to share with you. The 7 pillars, so now we're going to share a table with you, the 7 pillars of friendship. Our friends tend to be surprisingly like us, and there are personal characteristics that predict how close a friendship is likely to be. So we're going to look at 7 characteristics that help you to predict, okay, how close am I going to be with this friend, and how tight am I going to be, and what I share, that inner circle of 5, and then that next group of 15. Well, you speak the same language or the same dialect. I think the same language. We're going to both. I might challenge the survey that was done on this, but we both speak the same language or dialect. I was thinking of that. We both speak the same language, and that when we use certain words and phrases, we can almost anticipate what that means, and the interpretation of those is the same. You might have grown up in the same area, so you may have lived in the same neighborhood, or you've grown up with somebody, though in the mobile society we live in today, I'm going to put a question mark on that one as well. You have the same educational career experiences. And again, these are the 7 pillars of friendship. So we're going to look at this and say the language, the same, we grew up in the same environment, we have the same educational career experiences, we pursue the same hobbies and interests, number 4. We have the same hobbies and interests. And I think that would make sense. I know a number of our senior friends are quilters, right? And there's a tight friendship inside of the folks that are in the quilting world. There's reading clubs that people tend to have common. I know men go with golfing, or who's going to go hoops or play basketball on a weekend together, or show up at the local fitness center. So I can see that the hobbies and interests make sense. Game and enjoy rooting against or for, but you're in the same hobby of football or basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, in terms of that. You see eye to eye on moral, religious, and political matters. You see eye to eye on moral, religious and political matters. Boy, I will tell you, moral for sure. Obviously, you want to be sensitive to the friendships you have and the moral standards they have, the integrity that exists within those. And you certainly want to have the religious benefits. Not sure, though, I think some of my better friends, I'm not sure if that's is important. And then last but not least, religious. Boy, if that's not breaking up marriages, relationships, and friendships, that's become a whole different challenge in the year 2021. Number 6, you have a shared sense of humor. So you both find at least that humor is important and you can share that sense of humor with one another. And you have the same taste in music. And so let's go to a concert, or let's go listen to our favorite musician, or let's take a ride, and whose car you're driving in has got the music that has a similar taste. So those are, at least in this study that was done here at the University of Oxford, in a new book that's coming out on Friends, you at least have some basis of understanding what's going on in terms of our social environment. Now, all of this is important to me from a perspective of what we know today is that social interactions are vital to our long-term life expectancy. We don't want to be isolated. We don't want to feel lonely. We want to feel like we're part of a team or a group. And studies have been done that really reflect on the importance that those kinds of things, meaning those being the social interactions and then groups of friends, this just expands that out into a wider net. And surveys that obviously were done by this professor from the University of Oxford in terms of the book that he has just published and written out. So those are my tips for you on Friday evening, and it's back to NCAA basketball. And hope all is well for your teams that you pick. We've got, I guess, games Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So we've got 4 days of craziness going on right now. And we'll see how we all do. But I will be back in the Monday evening hour, and we'll see how the rest of my bracket is going. But Ohio State, one bracket, because I had them as one of the Final Four picks. So in the meantime, Memory Mastery online course, Maximum Memory Mastery Online. I think it's got some really terrific stuff in there that will help you with your memories, will help you with the elements of brain health, and helps begin to build the skills that you need to learn and practice anything that you need to do to improve your lives and your student academic. See you Monday.